So the topic of your discussion is, should government control the internet more strictly? Should government control the use of internet more strictly?
The social media has been banned for wrong reasons, which was prevailing for important this discussion, that was politicians. They were exposing the children's of politicians, and I think it should be limited to only one extent, and people should be free on social media.
Okay, but I disagree. My point is that if government don't control the internet completely, so maybe deep AI generated images will, and videos of politicians, celebrities, and bureaucrats will required to be posted on internet or social media, will go viral.
I agree, but the thing is, government is actually having the full control over the internet. It is actually like 24/7. You've been monitorized by them. The thing is, if government limits the internet, there will always be a way through VPNs and other stuffs. But they are actually getting profit because of the population and the use of really anonymous things on the internet.
I think government should not control the limit of using internet, because there are a lot of things people are using for it to get ideas from the internet, from using Google, and to, if they want to do a startup, so there are various ideas which we can get from the internet, so it can be used for the positive way. But there are certain things, there should be restrictions on certain things which government do have an eye on those things. So I think there should not be a control in it.
Yes, I am totally agreeing with your sentence, but I think social media is a double-edged sword. So it totally depends upon how we are using social media, because we have seen the famous terrorist called Burhan Wani is using social media to influence the youth, and we also see that many of the social media companies and youth also get involved in social media. So it's the tool that how should we take it. Government should also restrict some of the regulations that do not speak illicit. Just like we have seen the show of Samay Raina, that they are speaking illicit. So yes, it should be limited for some.
I agree with you. Another point I want to add to this discussion, that social media should be limited up to an extent, because the scams and also for security reasons that has been prevailing, that should government have eye on, as Asta said. And another thing, that AI generated images that you were talking about, and in my field, if I talk marketing, the AI generated images have been at an edge, and actually helping all the marketing campaigns and other related activities and promotions. So I think it should be limited for some purposes, and for some not.
There are certain things like if someone is not able to do a study, or not able to come physically in classes, so social media and even YouTube videos can be useful, and they have less like they are free. So free of cost. So I think it is beneficial if government will have control on all these things on the internet. So it will somewhere will harm them.
The only thing government needs to control is the NSFW content which is being posting on Reddit and major Discord or Telegram groups, which are not directly in the eyes of the government, because you can actually just post your photo and create anything with it. It is not the matter of fact that you are making a photo, just changing your clothes and everything. The restrictions should be on removing the clothes without anyone's consent, and making their body posture with the helps of the model, which is really wrong.
What I believe is we should have some regulations, rules, and laws to analyze and predict the market.
I also believe that the government needs not to be really strict when it comes to internet. Like someone from us has spoken about the example of Nepal. So what was the reason of protest in Nepal? The main reason is the government is unable to fulfill the requirement or fulfill its duty towards their citizens. And the cities and the youth itself is protesting. First, they are protesting on social media, and with the help of social media, they are they are providing awareness towards to the nation and to the international level as well.
Yeah.
But when the government get to know that they are using the social media to help awareness, they just ban on the use of social media, and for that particular reason, the youth can come onto the ground, it lead the violation on in an increasing manner.
To talk about specifically about Nepal, the social media ban is not the specific reason for the protest. The main reason was corruption and the politicians and their policies towards the citizens of Nepal.
I agree in the context of Nepal also. When the social media has been banned, I think they snatched away the freedom of the students and also the citizens living their opportunity and also a platform where they can speak openly about their problems and the situation of Nepal. So the point is, social media is a very good platform and very comfortable platform for anyone, including students, people coming from low background or any society. They can come and put their
There
views
should
on.
be limit and control, and if the things which are harming the people or the things which are harming, and there should be control on those things only. And if the government will take huge control, so things like which happened in Nepal recently, these things will take place. And
Yes, I am totally agreeing with your sentence, but I see that social media is a form of awareness, providing a huge network and wide range of network to get some of the news that we have seen in the past, that Arjikar college case that taken a huge masses in front of the government to take the case to Supreme Court. So I think for that particular reason, social media is good, but and also some of the influencers are coming on social media to train ourselves in field of gymnastics, in field of food and culture. So I think social media is very good, and we should
I
not.
want to add
Guys,
some point.
I do understand, but we are just getting out of the topic. The topic is government should limit the internet, not the social media. All are talking about Nepal, and also that was a particular thing that in Nepal government imposed on social media, not overall the internet thing. Okay, social media is another platform where people post their day-to-day life. They want to show people what they're living and all. But the thing is internet. So internet consists of YouTube, social medias, news channels, and a lot of things. Like for finance field, there are different types of website that help the people to what we say. See the company financial, get the fundamentals, know about what going day-to-day things. Okay, so limiting internet is a very vast thing. The government should come to those things which are mainly making the youth going into very bad things. Like as Janam said that NSFW content was there on Reddit. There are porn sites also there on that are government has taken steps. But if you go and search even sex also in the Google, it will show you the porn websites only. And in a youth, like when we are in 9th standard, we get to understand about biology subject. Okay, in there we get to know about reproduction and all. So if you see about sex, you will go to and write about sex, or you will see different things. It will come up on that. Where in earlier stages we get to know about sex means male and female, but when we go to Google, it shows a very different perspective. So government should impose something like that, it influencing people, youth mindset.
countries are moving towards digitalization. So if I say that government will have a control on internet, so there will be.
But it's not possible practically to have a strict regulations or have a control over it.
Sorry to interrupt, but you know the China, the country, it already has the control over the internet, because as it actually impose their own softwares and own websites which are only accessible to Chinese. So we can do that. But as I said, the government is actually earning profit because of our vast population and the traffic which we are imposing on those things. They are not willing to stop that because they are actually getting paid for that. And that is the main reason government is not restricting those things here in India. Also, there is regulations. There are ads which states that these are illegal, but still people are doing. People always find a way to get to what they want. So
Yes, I agree with this point. I think social media is very important, and nowadays even students create their career through social medias and internet. I think internet is like a knife. Knife have two aspects. Someone using it for cutting apples and for using good things, and someone use knife for harm someone. So I think everyone have their own aspects. It's up to you how we are engaging, where we are engaging, and where we spend our time on internet. Good point, but with the point that he spoke about with China, that China restricted the apps to its country only. But I don't agree with this policy. I think globalization is a term which we need to consider every time, including tariffs and also banning apps. I don't think it is a good initiative. One should be able to communicate and to network to peoples of other country also, which internet provides a base to it. And also in internet also there is transparency of information which we can access into. So I don't think internet to restricting completely internet is a right initiative.
Internet is very vast term to define. Students and companies and professionals use it for their betterment. Our government is also used for its day-to-day activities. Our monetary and financial and social policies are dependent on internet. So, sir, internet can't be controlled by government. I think they can control over 10 to 15% majorly.
We are living in a modern world where everything depends on technologies, and internet is something that is integrated in our routine life, like from day to evening. We use internet in many forms, and internet is something which is also inventing entrepreneurs innovations. With the help of internet, there are people who are influencing millions of people. With the help of internet, there are people who are learning new things with the Google searches, and with the help of internet, nation itself is developing. So, and the government, I believe that there should be some regulations toward the internet, but moving towards more strictness toward the internet will eventually lead and somehow disadvantages leads to disadvantages to the country.
Alright, so after hearing or listening to every one of your theories, I would like to conclude this topic by, I think everyone agrees on government restricting the internet just much, like it bans the bad influences over our future, and rest all, everyone needs the internet for every day-to-day tasks, and we are bound to it, so we have to like do it as we do right now. So I think we should conclude with that.
Previously, in 2019, government has banned several Chinese apps like TikTok and
Because it was transporting
Yeah.
the Indians' data.
yeah, so
That was
government is
completely a
very
geopolitics.
aware of what is good and what is bad for the citizen. They are regularly working for it, and the regulation and the laws will be making towards the interest of citizen and betterment of our nation.
Another thing that I want to consider in the topic of restricting the internet from the country is the data has been stolen, also been transferred without the consent of the user from the WhatsApp and the Meta company.
Aspects also for this topic which was not discussed. For example, since internet is an open world, anybody can access anything. Okay, and that also means that, for example, if we talk about terrorists, okay, they learn how to make bombs from internet, right? And then there are countries like Australia which have banned social media for the students below the age of 16 to 10. And then at the same time, the way the data is getting accessed by anybody, through there are so many apps, which we download and we submit the data, and then anybody has a data. Okay, so I think controlling the internet is a very vast topic. Of course, it is not possible completely to control the internet, but yeah, certain aspects has to be looked upon. And definitely social media and there are few things. See, today people are also misusing the information as well. That is also very important that you know that Google tracks our location. You know there are some by default settings through which people can hide where all we have visited, and this is the direct violation of an individual privacy. Uh, and at the same time, there are few things which are happening over the internet, which recently government has put ban over it. It is online gambling, in sports. Okay, the decision came very late. For years, Dream 11 was the sponsor of Indian cricket team, and everybody, was knowing that this is the proper gambling happening on the name of sports team. But government realizes very late.
Still such stake or MP चल रहा
And then there were good brand ambassadors, good cricket men who were supporting that. So all these things has to be government needs to play a role of a vigilator, right? They have to understand what is being consumed by our country, and then put some restrictions around it. If they don't do it, for example, uh, 2 days back, the violence happens in Ladakh, right? Again, if something is spread on the internet, it takes a form of a movement without you realizing that. People are calling everybody to come and protest, and then it goes beyond the control of the government. So, if government is not vigilant about, all these things, then this can actually create a problem. At the same time, if you see, there are so many things happening on the internet. The hate culture is getting more popular. People are trolling, others, right? And then people get more influenced by the negativity. Again, I have seen people suiciding because they were getting trolled.
Bullying.
Then,
Online bullying.
huh?
Online bullying.
Online bullying, and then
They are showing their life as a glorified.
yeah. At the same time, if you see, government has a code to decide whether somebody has done a crime or not. But if we see the people are doing trials themselves, there are media trials. There are trials by the normal people. For example, the recent Dashera event which is going to happen on in Indore, they are going to also burn few people effigies. Those who were not good, right? But still, the court verdict is yet to come. You're getting my point. People decide themselves who is right or who is wrong, and then they take actions against them. But it is something which has to be decided by the court, right? And before court, government, the media people does a trial, common people does a trial, and makes somebody a verdict without it is being proven. You understand? We see a lot of people getting, hated by the mob just because they think that something they have done wrong and they take the decision. So again, a wide issue, but it should be controlled. So with this, I hand it over to Abhishek for giving his comments. All of you, I think, have done a good job. Few people have not spoken, I think, and you also spoke very less. Just one entry, and then it was also agreed to the social media. I think many people was just limiting it to social media, but it is actually very wide beyond social media also. Okay, and that includes online gaming also, adult content also, and then today basically in internet you will find anything: how to make drugs, how to kill somebody. Everyone who is committing suicide actually finds a way from internet how to do suicide, right? So all this content is so much easily available. You can also understand how to make a nuclear bomb.
And then why there is more restrictions and all these things.
That is the point of discussion. That is the point of discussion. No?
But
You have access to an information. You don't know whether it is right for you to know that or
how
not.
is the government getting any benefit with all these things?
See, government is always reactive in India. Honestly speaking, they wait for something to happen and then they take action. When so many people will get died, they wake up. Like what is happening in Ladakh. I think they were protesting for last 5 years. Sorry, the last 5 years, right? 2019, Ladakh was declared a union territory, and they were protesting, peacefully. But it's only 2 days back when they become violent. The government realized, and they have sent a team for a discussion. So government is reactive. They are not proactive. Okay. Anyway, yeah, over to you, Abhishek.
So how actually a good discussion look like? That we have done.
Yeah, it is kind of like this one, but yeah, when it is about placement, people get a little more aggressive. It becomes a little more chaotic. So you know that nobody, see, it's not an actual placement. When it's an actual placement drive, people want it to win. Because that anxiety is there. Now you people are a little relaxed.
So we were professional during the discussion.
It was very much professional. You were countering each other, you were taking one side or the other. So it was very much professional. But actual DDs, get chaotic. So basically, she was trying to speak, but she spoke. So she would not speak. She would not speak. Then she made an entry. Right? So ऐसा होता है, but ऐसा बहुत ज़्यादा होता है.
So how to make a point when someone is interrupting or showing his dominance or
So there are few phrases which I have shown you just now.
But-
So when somebody is, dominating now, you say I agree to you. When you agree to somebody now, he gets angry. He will fight till the moment you are disagreeing.
I agree.
So when somebody is dominating, you say I agree. So he will get silent because he feels that my point is justified. He wanted to speak because he wanted to justify his point. And the moment you say I agree, he said I am done. And then with this phrase you can start your point.
so what will be the most respectful way to convey your thoughts and what
See, we should always use the good phrases like my dear friend, I agree with your point, my dear friend, I slightly differ from your point. So use phrases like my dear, something like that.
So, when it comes to GD, is it necessary to take any side, like be in
Absolutely.
favor or in
Yeah,
opposed?
yeah. You have to take one side because being, taking an hybrid point of view is the solution of everything.
Suppose like our topic is should the government needs
So-
to be more strict when it comes to
See, when it
internet?
comes to group discussion, you have to take a side. Because otherwise, if you don't take a side, you will not be able to justify which is more better than other. Hybrid is the solution of everything. You will say government should have some restriction, not everything. So that is always the solution. Be it work from home versus work from office. If you say some days work from home, some days work from office, it is always the solution. You have to take one side, and that is what you prefer, and that should be the point of dominance.
But we can choose the neutral path also, na? Like the
See, that is
government.
not recommended because then what is your contribution? Everybody knows that neutral path is the best path. It is about having an ideology, left or right. Okay, because it is something when somebody can say in conclusion, but again he has to conclude with one side.
So, if you talk about this particular case, we can't simply just agree that no, government should not strictly do that, and we can't say that yeah, government should do as strictly that. We have to convey our thoughts and process with the delicacy or
Absolutely. See, it is always about speaking about the advantage of certain things. We cannot say government should do this or it should be properly banned, but having limitation can what can advantages can have what disadvantages will be there if they don't limit the internet.
pros and cons of the topic.
Absolutely, not topic, no, of the side, and then you
Consequences.
so you have to pick a side and then speak about the advantage. And for sure, definitely every side would have some
Pros and
loopholes, and that is where you have to fight, and that is where you have to come up with okay, what is more dominant. You understand?
Yes.
So that way you have to discuss, but don't take both the side. Then you will not be stand up. And then it is advisable sometimes that you speak what side people are taking, and then take a side which is in minority, so that you are highlighted.
So you got
separately.
more chances to speak about the
At the
topic.
same time, you are highlighted also because you are the only one who is taking the other side. Okay. See, when we have to conclude, we have to speak all the good points mentioned by JDY or some good points that people have said for both the side, and then what is your side, you can say. But I still believe this is more important.
Concludes last point, right? So,
No, so basically the moderator asked to conclude something. He concluded from his side. So he did that. He did that, but that was his whole control. No? Does everybody stops after its conclusion? No. She will let this go. Then he spoke. So he is not the moderator. If somebody can say after the starting only I have control.
That's the point of the discussion. Starting means.
That is my role. That is moderator role.
मुझे आपकी आवाज ऐसे लगता है
अरे मैं आता कंक्लूजन पे।
अरे अभी तो पूछा यही हो रहा था
नहीं कंक्लूड मॉडरेटर बोलता है और जिसको भी कंक्लूड करने का चांस मिल रहा है इसका मतलब ये है कि जो आपका रिक्रूटर है वो आपके बारे में श्योर नहीं है, मतलब आपको एक और चांस देना है बोलने का। जो भी कंक्लूड कर रहा है ना ये समझ लेना उसका सिलेक्शन डाउटफुल है। तो कंक्लूड एक ऐसे स्टूडेंट को दिया जाता है जिस पे डाउट होता है, जैसे कि मतलब कोई बॉडी लैंग्वेज से बहुत अच्छा दिख रहा है और वो चुप रहा तो उसको चांस दिया जाता है कि इसको मौका दिया जाए कि सुन लेते हैं कि ये ब्रीड की वजह से नहीं बोल पा रहा था कि नेचुरली ऐसा है। या फिर 50-50 हाँ
Moderator asked to conclude.
तो हो जाएगा। बहुत बार क्या होता है ब्रीड में बोल नहीं पाते। हाँ तो बट बहुत बार होता भी नहीं, कंक्लूजन पे गया भी नहीं जाता है, डिपेंड्स। हाँ ओवर टू यू अभिषेक। मतलब मैंने
So, see, I was seeing it as a point of view of an interviewer and in general also. First, I'll tell you about this topic that we have chosen and the wider aspect of it. The thing is, we have idea of this government strictly the internet. Let's first see the difference. What is that? The social media and all things are US-based things. Right? In US, the thing is they keep a person's security, then social security, and then the government interest. For example, the instance that you took example of somewhere else, it is not possible in US. They will not get offended. They get even more subscribed because the person's dignity is more important for them. At the same time, if a person makes AI or deepfake image of someone in US, they can get in trouble. But in India, it's not the case. In India, कोई भी person किसी भी person की पूछने से भर्ती खाली दिख रहा है तो 1-to-1 जब चीजें तो उस पर बहुत ज्यादा सीख नहीं है। लेकिन जब सोशल लेवल पे कोई चीज आ जाती है, जब गवर्नमेंट डिग्री की पूरी ऐसा सोसाइटी कंप्लेन कर रही है किसी बारे में, तो गवर्नमेंट उसको स्ट्रिक्ट कर देती है। इसके बहुत सारे एग्जांपल हैं, यूके, नेम इट लाइक पबजी और इवन द समवेयर ऑन कंट्रोवर्सी बहुत सारे एग्जांपल होते हैं। एंड उसके ऊपर क्या आता है नेशनल इंटरेस्ट, नेशनल सिक्योरिटी। जैसे टिकटॉक it get banned easily, even though so many people are using, so many people are against it, but they will not compromise the security. Now I will give you feedback one by one that I noticed. First, you included more sexual data. You speak 2-3 times, and in all of those you included factual data, but you need to speak more. And also you were a bit not countering the other person's mistake. You had your own topic and you were just waiting for your turn to jump in. Okay. Second, last time you need to speak more. You acknowledge others' point. That is a very good thing. When someone else said something, then you acknowledge that, and then you started your point. That's a good thing. But your participation was very less. It was very more. You had really good, strong, good counterpoints. You need to just phrase better what you were saying, and in 3 to 4 times you were able to counter it very, really good. Like some person said something, you put some points. That after that it became a topic of discussion. That was a really good thing. But you need to be more confident on that.
I need the feedback about my speech, what its quality and my hand gestures.
Speech was good, gesture was good, but confidence was lacking. That was something that could have been perfect. That was the your points were really good. Jaina, one thing about you that your points were good. For example, you said about Reddit NSFW. But if you notice that Reddit NSFW, that also has more all the pages of whatever is there. Yeah. So I personally believe that it is more stricter than your other social media, Instagram or because mods first, you did something. Second thing, you made allegation which is not a good impression. For example, 2 times you said that government is getting benefit out of it. This is when your exact sentence, right? Now the thing is, can you factually prove that government is getting benefit? Do you have a data or a source or something? Can you back it up? Can you say that the government is getting benefit? Do you have data for that? Or proof for that? If someone asks you to prove it, can you prove it? That government is getting benefit.
confidential file, but yeah, things that would be used like that.
You have to mention that reference.
You have to use reference because you have 2 things. If you are not using reference, then it may seem like you are biased about or against the government. And let's say if interviewer is someone who is in favor of government and he doesn't like that you have taken decisions or other way around also if it is possible. Okay, so use your words carefully. Or at least you can use some sources that these sources say that government are getting conflict out of it. You cannot like everything. Other than that, points were good. Again, the best thing about you is that your timing was perfect. You had good points, but you didn't cut anyone. You waited for your turn, and you also referenced. The first time when you said you referred what he said and what he said, and then you added your own experience. Like I from Speakathon, that's a really good thing. So this is something. If you do this, then other parts will not disagree because you are already saying that, acknowledging that they have said, and then you put the point. So it was good. I don't see any problem. It was just perfect. You didn't speak any of them. I was waiting for your participation, but you didn't see it. And same for you. You entered the GD 7 minutes, 6 to 7 minutes, and then you entered, and you didn't give any factual data or anything, and you just used some generic term. Like I'm not able to recall what exactly you said. You just used some English phrases to think, and it was very generic.
It was like a knife.
That's what I said. So it's very generic thing. This is something. Sorry. He used that, but he also used some extra data. Like he was the one who put out the Samaya Rana percent to see. Even in second time when he spoke, he used some reference. So you entered late, but even if you enter late in the round, do not use the generic terms because at that time so many discussions is already done. So you already have the data. Okay. Now you also entered very late, but you had really good points. You had a wider aspect. Like people were stuck in the social media thing only, but you were able to catch the wider aspect. And why in general internet is good for it. Confidence was good, body is everything was good, but timing okay, you didn't speak after that also. So there you get it. You also spoke very less. I was expecting more. You had really good counterpoint, but you could not speak. So that was my feedback for you guys.
Okay, come Kirti.